Remember, remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I see of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. That is a little rhyme told every 5th of November here in England to celebrate Guy Fawkes Night. But what is Guy Fawkes and why do we celebrate it? But before we get into all the Catholic assassination attempts and explosions, first we hydrate and then we educate. Firstly, let's talk about the Guy Fawkes, born in 1570 in York. Raised in York, England, but then, later on in his life, he joined Catholicism and moved over to Europe, particularly Spain, where he fought in the 80 Years' War between the Catholic Spanish and the Protestant Dutch, and he fought on the side of the Spanish. Whilst on his Catholic journeys around Spain and Europe, he met up with Robert and Thomas Winter. Now, Guy Fawkes really liked Thomas and Robert because they shared his Catholicism dreams of having a Catholic ruler upon the throne of England, which at the time was King James I and VI of Scotland, who was a Protestant. So Guy Fawkes brings his new friends, Robert and Thomas Winter, back to England, and they introduce him to Robert Catesby. And it was Catesby who had the cunning plan to assassinate the Protestant King James I and VI of Scotland to keep the monarchy and the throne of England Catholic. The plan was simple: rent a storage facility underneath the House of Lords and stockpile it with dynamite. Then, when King James comes to the House of Lords to inspect his government, boom! And our Guy Fawkes, was put in charge of putting all the explosives in this storage facility underneath the House of Lords. But then, the 5th of November, 1605, in the very wee hours, the authorities are tipped off by a random letter to search the Houses of Parliament, where they find our boy sitting on a pile of dynamite. After being arrested, Guy Fawkes was tremendously tortured for 2 straight days, and he admitted to the plot and also gave away a lot of his conspirators with a signed confession. And then on the 27th of January 1606, all 8 plotters were put on trial. Yes, there were 8 people involved in the plot to blow up the House of Lords. And no surprise, they were all convicted and sentenced to death. And for some bizarre reason, ever since that night of 1605, we have celebrated this failure of the gunpowder treason and plot, with bonfires, with fireworks, with cotton candy. Don't know why, but we just do it. Tradition, I guess.